The bigger the business gets, the harder it becomes to make calm decisions. In this episode of Agency from Zero, I'm going to be talking specifically to you, the founder who is in the early stages and wants to get bigger, but is afraid that some of their decisions are just going to be wrong. I didn't want to make this into a vlog because I believe this is a very important topic and I want to just be talking to the camera. I want to be talking specifically to you as a friend. So if you're scaling right now, you're most likely feeling that there is more money at stake, more people are watching your moves, and everything just becomes a little bit more riskier. Basically, every decision that you need to make starts getting heavier than usual. But what you need to remember is that you're not getting worse at making decisions. It's just that the environment is changing and you need to take that into consideration. But hey, before we continue any further, who am I to be talking about this? So my name is Veselin and I'm one of the founders at DeckVision. We've been scaling this agency for the past 3 years, but even before that I have had many different experiences which make me believe that scaling and making good decisions is all about having the right mindset. In the early days of a business, decisions usually feel very light. You just want to test something and you do it. You want to try something else, you do that. You fail and it's no big deal. You just wasted 8 hours or 24 hours or whatever. Especially in today's world with AI, you're just wasting some time and you're getting the result very, very fast so you can test ideas quickly. But as the business grows, as you start getting revenue, as people start joining your team, you feel that every decision becomes more riskier, there is more money involved, and this leads to pressure. But trust me, the decisions themselves aren't really the ones that are changing, and it's not your intellectual being that is changing and that is failing. It's actually the fact that there is a bigger cost of you failing. And since I want to make this even more personal, I'm going to share you a personal story that I'm relating to nowadays since my business is growing, and I just thought about it recently and I realized how close it is to my current situation. So back in the days when I was 16, I was earning my money by playing poker. Now I know that for some of you this may sound very weird and it may sound like I'm some kind of a gambling addict, but trust me, this is something totally different. When it comes down to poker, there is skill involved. You can check that online. But now, what I realized is that especially if you're playing tournaments in poker, you're just starting with a starting stack. Everyone has the same kind of starting stack and you just start to play. With time going, you start getting a bigger stack if everything is going in the right way. And every decision that you want to make can cost you the game. Basically, if you make a wrong decision, people start getting your chips and you may lose the tournament. And let's say you have been playing in this tournament for 6 hours, for 8 hours, you have money invested, or you have been even playing for 2 or 3 days because there are tournaments like that. And when you have all this pressure, it's actually the pressure that is making you get into bad positions and start playing very badly and start relying on luck and all that stuff, which is hurting your overall performance. So you start forcing outcomes, you start chasing your losses, and you start ignoring the probabilities of poker. And what I realized with time is that the good players aren't forcing the outcomes. They know the situations, they know when they need to play aggressively, they know when they need to fold, and they know that the decision itself needs to be done in the right way no matter the situation, no matter the background. Whether you are at 100k chips or 100k revenue per month, it's all about making sure that you still keep your calm and you're making the right decision. And now let me also give you an example from the business world, because maybe you didn't get my poker reference. Now in business, you start seeing some kind of revenue coming in. Let's say you're at 3k per month, then you get to 5k per month, 10k per month, 20k per month. And you start investing more money into ads. And at some point you invest 1k per month, then you invest 5k, 10k, 20k, and then you start realizing that this money that you're investing in ads, it's life-changing money for some people on a monthly basis, and yet you're investing it into ads. So what if you're doing it in the wrong way? What if you're investing into ads which are in the long run gonna be losing for your business? Why would you even want to do that? Why would you even want to invest in ads? And when you start asking all those questions to yourself, this is the moment you start making bad decisions. And the root cause of that is that you start getting emotional. You stop relying on logic, you stop relying on practicality, and you start relying on emotions, you start relying on your intuition, and to me, this always leads to errors and to losses. So look, my advice to you, founder to founder, is the following. Especially if you're growing, you have to keep in mind those things. You need to slow down at critical moments, and you need to think clearly. You need to make fewer but higher quality decisions. Especially if you're doing many different decisions across the day or across the week, you're getting decision fatigue. I believe this is a specific term about it. And when you get this, you get with a lower chance that you're going to actually make the right decision. And then the third thing is that you're constantly trying to protect your downsides instead of just seeing what's out there, instead of just trying to grow. And usually that's how lots of businesses plateau. They just get to a certain point and the founder doesn't want to make any decisions because they're afraid if they make a decision then it's just going to get worse and they're going to lose the current position. And of course this is never really going to get you to more growth for your business. So look, as your business grows, you need to remember decision making becomes a skill of restraint, not a skill of speed. I hope that if you're in the situation of scaling right now, this quick talk by me was enough for you to get convinced that maybe you are making the right decisions, but you are just getting more emotional about it than you should be. So just think clearly and start going in the right direction. Now, you should also check out the other videos that I have in this series of Agency from Zero, because there I speak from my experience. I'm basically sharing everything about building an agency from scratch. It's raw content, it's something that maybe you haven't seen online, and I'm sure that you're gonna see some interesting stuff inside. So make sure you go ahead and watch the whole series or you start watching my other videos. But basically the most important thing is that you just like, you subscribe, and that's it.